Hey guys, it's Karen. I'm going to do a little stream, a little something different today. Um, I don't know how many of you know this, but in addition to dolls and crafts like knitting and sewing and crochet and jewelry making, I am an artist. That's actually what I got my degree in. That's what I mainly do. I have other hobbies too, like writing and stuff, but this is actually the one that is currently paying my bills, or well, my husband's paying my bills because I'm a stay-at-home mom, but this is what I do on the side. And I have several coloring books that are available to purchase on Amazon, but I don't know that many of you know this. I have a second channel. I'm sure a lot of you know this, but some new people to my channel might not know this. So I've linked in the comments my other channel, and I just thought you might be interested in seeing a little bit about what I do, some of the art that I do. I do lots of different styles of art, and I'm doing a mandala page for a new coloring book I'm going to be putting together. Um, and the program that I'm using is Clip Studio Paint. It's a Japanese program that was developed for manga artists primarily, and because I have a passion for comics, that's how I haven't worked on comics in quite a while, but you can see some pages and stuff I've done on my website. Um, so that's how I found out about the program. When I first started doing art, I worked in, it was like when I was in college, Photoshop was just barely, I don't even know if Photoshop was on the scene yet. When I first worked on art in college, I I had to use I had to cut. We didn't have Photoshop, so we'd have to actually cut out and paste and copy. I spent a lot of hours at Kinko's in getting my undergraduate, trying to put my work together. Oh, I've had a lot of caffeine. My hand is shaking. When I wasn't just doing traditional stuff like painting and yeah. So if I was doing graphic design and stuff, there was a lot of copy and pasting. In fact, when I worked at the newspaper as a journalist, well, at that time, it was when I worked at a newspaper in both the business end and also as a journalist. Like I started on the business end and then I went, anyway, back then companies were transitioning from cutting and pasting to the graphics to digital. So my whole career with art and my actual professional work was all a mix of both. And then I switched over completely to digital. Um, but then for many years it was Photoshop. And I no longer I can use Photoshop, but I don't prefer to use it anymore because I disagree with their price structure. So I've switched over all my programs to other things. There's now a professional level competitor to Photoshop called Affinity Design, or Affinity, the Affinity suite of products. It's made out of England, and I prefer to use that because they're for different things. Like I don't use Illustrator, I use Publisher, things like that. But for the drawing, I've completely switched over to Clip Studio Paint. I could use Affinity Photo and do the same thing, or I could use Procreate. Some of you might know about that. I used Procreate when it was first on the scene back in like 2004 or whatever, 2003. But I didn't like it better than Photoshop at that time. So anyway, that's just a little brief history of what programs I have used and what programs I use now. Instead of Illustrator, I use the Affinity version, which is called Affinity Design. And they're very affordable, professional level softwares that are pretty comparable to Adobe. So if you have anybody in your life who likes to draw or paint or do graphics, or a student or something, a lot of places professionally still require Photoshop, so it's good to learn that. but I don't find it to be a budget-friendly option for starving artists, and I refuse to use them. So anyway, that's my little spiel. I always complain about that and let people know that there is an alternative on all of my platforms, because I really, really dislike, not that I don't dislike their products. Their products are great, but I just don't find them affordable for young artists and people who are just starting out, or even the student versions. Like, you know, you can barely, unless you're getting a full ride, you can barely pay for your you know, your apartment. You still got to work, your books, your tuition, your food, all that, and then you got to pay a subscription to, even a reduced one, to Adobe to do your work. I just, yeah, I'm just not a big fan of that. So here, what I'm doing is I'm using a few different layers and different symmetrical rulers. The symmetrical rulers make my life a lot easier, because if I make a mark on one division of the ruler, it will replicate it on the other side. So when working in mandalas, it's really helpful and makes it really fun. I like the way I love working on mandalas, but I wouldn't like it if I had to duplicate everything by hand in every area. So basically when I do one of these, I'm just working in one area, and then it translates that to the rest of the area. Now that does cause some limitations, and you have to be mindful of how the design looks. And as you can see here, if I turn off which layer is it? Is it this layer? Yes. If I turn off the triangle layer, I designed the triangle layer on a different ruler. The triangle was done on a different ruler. So this stuff that's going behind, I will mask out or erase out, so you can see the blue. Maybe you can see this, the blue behind the triangle. That will be, I'll probably put a white triangle underneath here and mask that out so nobody will see that. So that way I make sure that I get everything drawn where there's overlap. There won't be gaps or anything, but you won't end up seeing it with this on top of it at the end when I'm done. And what I like to do first is, this triangle is actually, I had it lightened so I could see it. This will be on top, and so it's black and white. Obviously this will be black and white. This blue layer is just set to blue as because this is my sketch layer. So I'm sketching out what I want to go behind here, and then I will ink over it. I'll make a new layer and ink over it in black, and that's how I will get the final page. So I'll just do a little bit of drawing. This video is already at 8 minutes. I'm just going to do a few minutes of drawing, messing around, and I have some other ideas I have other coloring books that aren't just mandalas, and I have some other ideas for coloring books that aren't mandalas. And if you're interested in this, let me know. I can either direct you over to my other channel. Like I said, it's under my whole name, Karen Lois Bonfiglio. Or wait, what's going on? Oh, I need to be on the right layer. Or I don't know, I might do some more drawing on this channel at some point, but if I do, it will be like more doll or art related, not just you know, this has nothing to do really with the dolls. And I don't know how specific your tastes are. I don't want to like bore people if I put this kind of thing up. So I do plan on doing this new book. It's all going to be triangle themed, and I'm going to have, what am I trying to say? It'll be 30 illustrations. Yes. And yes, let me know. Do you guys like coloring books? And if you do like coloring books, what actual kinds of coloring books are you drawn to? Do you like easy ones? Do you like hard ones? Do you just buy coloring books for your kids and grandkids? Are you, you know, I'm really curious to know what you think of coloring books. I know that they are not as hot as they were a few years ago, but, and I've been making these for a while, but they are not, they are still popular. People still really, the people that love coloring still love to color. Um, so, I'm curious. I'd like to get some opinions on what kind of things that you guys like when you're coloring something, or that you did like when you were younger, if you no longer color, or again, things that your children or grandchildren like. I'd really be interested in finding that out. That would help me out a great deal, actually. A little marketing research, if you will. So, and I don't need to make this sketch layer very detailed. Sometimes I just ink over it when it's at the level that it is on the top, but sometimes I like to do a little bit more of a detailed sketch layer before I start inking. So, and the way I work this way is I'm pretty much just doodling, but I do have like ideas in mind. And as you can see, I don't always keep what I put down. So I do curate it. I didn't like that there, so I will change that. So yeah, I'll just be quiet for a couple minutes and just draw. And then again, like I said, let me know in the comments below if you watch this. Let me know about what you like about coloring. I don't know what to put in there. I'm all my books, not all of them, but most of them are pretty complicated. So I don't know what to put in there either. Oops, what is going on? No, that's not what I want to do. I want to do. I've forgotten how to do these. My hands are shaking so bad from the caffeine. Oh my gosh. I have to go slow. I don't know if I like this. I hope you can see how it's mirroring itself in the other side of the ruler here. I don't know if you can actually see that. I guess so. So I don't know if this is going to work. We'll take a step back and see how that looks as filler. Well, that looks okay. So yeah, that will work as filler. I'm going to need to have some black areas since I have black areas on the triangle, but probably not large black areas. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, I don't think I like that. So let's just get rid of it. All right, so I'm not going to make this video much longer. I am going to sign off. This was just a really short introduction to the fact that I'm an artist on my other side of YouTube, and that if you were interested, I do have this side of my creativity, and it would be cool if you let me know what you feel about coloring books. So that's what I have so far, and I will talk to you guys later in another craft and doll video. Thank you so much if you stop by and check this out,